Montevallo defeated West Georgia in a 5-set thriller on senior night this past Friday. Bree Bloom led the Falcons with 14 kills and 3 service aces. During the course of your career, you were a 4-year starter. What changed from freshman year to senior year? Your hitting percentage seemed to get better. You were more, utilized from the service line. So how did your play develop? So what can we expect from this new-look Falcons? It seems like we got a brand new group of guys under Danny Young, but they always seem to click. Jamar Taylor missed the first 3 games, but he was the team leader the second time out. But it seems as if the Falcons have brought more players in to kind of help shoulder the load from Taylor.
Yeah, Chris.
Montevallo has had trouble replacing size, and in the past they had Taylon Whitaker. Last year we had Tyg Oberg. This year they have a big player, Jeremiah Curtis. The Falcons have played in the Peach Belt, so those are pretty much the teams we're familiar with. What is going to be the difference as they're moving to the Gulf South? Who are the competitors? Last year we had J.J. Douglas, the season before that Terrell Lipkins and Brian Orange, but we fell in the first hurdle in the conference tournaments, and the season before that in the first hurdle of the NCAA tournament. Does anything about this new look side make you think that they can advance farther than that? This week on Falcon Fever, Montevallo's soccer teams both finished with winning records. We interview 4-year starter Taylor Gonzalez on her time with the Falcons. And it's that time of year again. Basketball season returns to Trustmark Arena. Welcome to Falcon Fever. I'm Alex Tejada. The Falcons lost to 4-time champs West Alabama by a 1-0 score on Friday. Montevallo won the quarterfinal at home last week at Varsity Field. Gulf South Freshman of the Year Cesare Marconi scored both goals in the win over Christian Brothers. The Italian finished with a team-high 10 goals, which ranked him second in the conference and helped him earn first-team All-GSC honors. Teammate Liam Moore was named to the Gulf South Conference second team after a season of 5 goals and 4 assists. Robert Lane's women's soccer team achieved a first winning season since 2008 after finishing with a 9-6-2 record. Today we have Taylor Gonzalez, the Overland Park, Kansas native, who was a 4-year starter for Montevallo's soccer team in the past 4 years. Taylor, how was your time at Montevallo? Last year you led the team in goals, and this year you led the team in assists. Any particular game or moment that stands out to you as like a highlight? Y'all got back to having a winning season this year. Were there any personal goals or team goals that you didn't quite accomplish here in your time, or do you leave with no regrets? Coach Danny Young's men's basketball team opened their season this past weekend in the Small College Basketball Hall of Fame Classic. The Falcons play in this weekend's GSC SIAC tournament in South Carolina before the Rams Rising tournament in Albany, Georgia. This past weekend, the Falcons were led by Chris Williams and Jeremiah Curtis, who scored 27 and 18 points respectively. Montevallo plays their first home game on the 22nd against Carver College. AJ was a talented forward from Ramsey High School who played AAU basketball for the Birmingham Storm before he was put into the starting 5 in his first game, an exhibition against D1 Auburn. But he was loved off the court for his personality, friendliness, and charm.
For the Bearcats, Gonzalez goes direct for goal, and it goes off the crossbar. Falcons following it in, and a goal. The flag stays down. Tyler Ring, and the 2-goal advantage is restored again for a third time. 77th minute, 4-2.
McCarty. Harris out of the back. Christie sets it low for Bohan. Didn't get the best of connections on that one either. 19-20. McCarty, powerful. See if Masoner can be the link between the defense and the offense. Grace Harris puts it over. Merritt. King sets it up for McCarty, who's having a field day on this left side. 1 point away from clinching a second set.
With the team coming into the weekend ranked in the top 10 in the country, expectations for the Minnesota Gophers have been high. For many of the fans, their love of the team started back in the 60s when Minnesota last won a conference title.
Tom Sakel, who was captain of the Gopher football team that year, was my roommate.
I've been a fan since I was 6 years old. My dad knew Murray Warmath. So I used to go to the Gopher practices, and I sold papers during the 60s at the games.
Minnesota has seen some ups and downs, so what do the fans consider the program's biggest wins?
When we beat Michigan 16-0, when we beat Penn State when they were number 1. And the biggest one since then had to be like last week where we beat Penn State.
Saturday's game was against rival Iowa, but many do not consider them their biggest rival.
For me, it's Wisconsin, because I have cousins in Wisconsin, and I'm tired of their razzing. I didn't get any this year.
Despite losing Saturday, the Gophers have a shot to make the Big Ten Conference title game. So what's been the key to success?
Coach Fleck. He's done a great job of recruiting. He's full of energy. The team is bought into his program. That's a dominating force as far as I'm concerned.
Fans also say that TCF Bank Stadium has provided an electric atmosphere for the team.
Sitting there and watching the stadium get full, and it was just like, oh my word, this is really special because we haven't had that.
Minnesota still has a lot to play for this season, including a first Rose Bowl appearance since 1962.
And my wife and I will be going.
While fans remain loyal through winning and losing, they have enjoyed watching the Gophers surpass expectations.
It's been fascinating. What a great season. You know, obviously victory is always special, but it's a great university and the whole thing and the new stadium that they got. And I mean, it is, you can't beat it. It's just, sky your ma.
In Rochester, Alex Tejada, KTTC News.
Fishing runs in Jason Howland's family.
Well, I've been fishing since I was a little kid. My dad is a fisherman, so, but I've been competing in bass tournaments probably my late teenage years, and I started with team tournaments with my father, and just kind of grown from there.
And now he has navigated his way through the state tournament and semi-nationals to compete against 47 other anglers for a chance at the Bass Fishing Pro Tour.
It's a lot of hard work and a lot of time on the water is really what it takes. Figuring out where the fish are, what kind of lures they want to bite. It's artificial lures only, and then just going out and executing a game plan.
And while he enjoys the competition, Howland says the most fun part is passing on his love of fishing to young anglers.
I just love being able to share our passion of this sport because it's a great sport. You don't have to be an Adam Thielen or Kirk Cousins to compete in pro bass fishing. You just have to be able to fish and do it well.
As coach of the Albert Lee Anglers, he's helped high schoolers reach the national championships at their level. He says getting good at the sport requires experience and patience.
Don't get discouraged. A lot of times on the water, you'll have bad days. Be patient and stick with what you know.
Howland is preparing for the national championship by honing his skills on Fountain Lake, as well as participating in other tournaments.
Basically, it's just getting out there and trying different depths, different lures, trying to figure out what the fish are doing. And sometimes in practice, they may be biting, and then in the tournament, they don't, and you have to adjust. And that's probably one of the things I love most about this sport is figuring out the puzzle.
In Albert Lee, Alex Tejada, KTTC News.
This week, Bartow Arena is hosting the Robert Easton UAB basketball camp, but Coach says it is more than just about the basketball.
I think it's important for us. One of our goals is to build our brand through the community. We want to engage the community, the kids, the younger basketball fans in the greater Birmingham area to get really familiar with our coaches, with our players. So that's a big part of it for me. It's not only teaching basketball, having a lot of fun, but also these guys connecting with our players and with our program.
Eason, who took over from Jared Haas, who departed for Stanford, had a tough learning curve in his first season. The Blazers went 17-16 and 9-9 in Conference USA play, despite being preseason favorites to top the standings.
We have all the pieces I think we need to have a chance to win a championship, which has been our goal and will continue to be.
UAB returns 4 juniors, Chris Coakley, Lewis Sullivan, Nick Norton, who missed all but one game through injury, and William "Ha-Ha" Lee, who declared for the NBA draft this season.
Ha-Ha is naturally an extremely unselfish player, and he always has been that, and it's one of the reasons he's always been successful, and it's one of the things the NBA teams like. And I think scoring points, he's proven he can do that.
However, the Plantersville, Alabama native, who led the team with 13.2 points per game, said it was an easy decision to come back to Blockingham.
I knew going into the draft that I was coming back to school, get my education. I was just going there to test the waters, see what it was like on the next level, see what I got to put into my game to be ready for the NBA draft next year.
It seems the time might be now for UAB to return to the NCAA tournament. For WBRC Fox 6 News, I'm Alex Tejada.
He was just the main Hawkeye. He was the football team.
He was a special coach, and he had a special program. I just dreamed as a young boy to play for him someday.
And that day came. DeVries, a defensive end, started as a freshman under Coach Fry. The legendary coach's persona and unique way of motivating the locker room is something he says he'll never forget.
He just was so personable. You know, he was easy to talk to. He was kind of a jokester, to be honest with you.
Fry took over after Iowa had failed to post a winning season in 17 years.
You know, he turned that program around, you know, when he first got there and you know, put it on the map.
Fry brought the wide-open passing game to the Big Ten Conference. His tenure was remembered by the hokey pokey after wins, his unique way with words, the swarm onto the field with players, changes to the uniform, and a little psychology when it came to opponents.
You just knew Hayden, if it was 4th and 3, there's no doubt he would go for it. He went for the win.
The most famous thing that he did was, you know, the pink locker room at Kinnick Stadium, because it was supposed to mellow out the opponent and calm them before they played.
And his influence stretched past the football field.
He was an even better man. An impression on me is how much he cared for his athletes.
I always kind of wondered if maybe when he was done coaching football, if he might run for governor or something like that. I think he probably, if he had done it, he probably would have won.
He's just an icon in Iowa. We've got grandkids named after him.
Fry's legacy is carried on by players such as DeVries, as well as the many coaches who worked under him. One disciple, Kirk Ferentz, continues that legacy today at Iowa.
It continues to grow and thrive, and it's got great tradition, and it's just a special place. It all derives from what Coach Fry envisioned and started.
Nobody can replace him.
In Clear Lake, Iowa, Alex Tejada, KTTC News.